Tonight, Inside Job, the jail worker accused of helping 10 inmates escape. Still on the run, the hunt is on in New Orleans for 6 inmates considered armed and dangerous at large. Law enforcement say a worker admitted to shutting off the water in a cell so they could pull the toilet off the wall and escape. Now more workers have been put on leave as the manhunt continues. Spring severe storms power up again and again with 37 million under threat. Homes pulverized. And now the evening threat to hard-hit areas. Plus, was human error to blame for sirens not going off in St. Louis? The congresswoman charged with assault by the DOJ after a standoff at an ICE detention facility. What federal prosecutors say she did, as Democratic leaders say the Trump administration is interfering with her duties as a member of Congress. With summer nearly here, why so many sunscreens may not protect you. What to know? Just in, could some of the NFL's biggest stars be Olympics bound? And it's not easy being green. And other words of wisdom for the class of 2025. Hallie Jackson picks Kermit's brain ahead of his big commencement speech.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight, 6 escaped inmates remain at large days after that dramatic jailbreak in New Orleans last Friday. And authorities now saying their early hunch was correct. The escapees had help from the inside. A jail maintenance worker now under arrest accused of helping the men access the hole through which they made their brazen escape. In all, 10 prisoners, including one who had been convicted of murder, made their break for freedom under the lens of security cameras early Friday morning. Their bold escape, however, went unnoticed by guards for several hours. 4 of the men have been tracked down and taken back into custody. Today, the sheriff in charge of the jail accepted blame for the security breakdown. The police chief warning others who may be inclined to help the fugitives that they too risk being charged. Ryan Chandler reports from New Orleans with the latest.
Tonight, officials say the breakout at a New Orleans jail was an inside job, arresting jail maintenance worker Sterling Williams. They say he turned off the water to this cell, enabling 10 inmates to escape through the wall. According to the arrest affidavit, Williams told investigators one of the fugitives told him to turn off the water, threatening to shank him if he didn't comply. An inmate also tried to take Williams's phone, according to the document.
He intended to assist these individuals to leave that facility.
The sheriff's office says a total of 3 jail employees are on leave without pay. The police chief today with this message for anyone who aids the escapees.
If they participate willfully and knowingly, they are going to be charged with serious felonies. 6
fugitives are still on the run, including a convicted killer. Police say 4 have been recaptured and arrested, all in New Orleans. The latest on Monday night, 21-year-old Gary Price. The sheriff who oversees the jail has been under fire for the response. Today, she apologized.
I take full accountability for this failure.
According to the jail's timeline, guards didn't notice the inmates were missing for more than 7 hours after their escape. The public wasn't notified for more than 10 hours.
Look, if this jailbreak happened at 1, the public should have known at 1:05. The public is your best friend.
New Orleans District Attorney Jason Williams prosecuted the convicted killer now on the loose. He says the sheriff's response puts the public at risk.
Every single day that these men are at large, the public is in danger.
Ryan, what is the latest on the manhunt at this hour?
Well, Lester, the sheriff says they have more than 200 law enforcement personnel actively searching. The New Orleans police chief says they believe most of those fugitives are within city limits, and they are stressing the public is a crucial partner in this investigation, urging anyone who knows anything to contact law enforcement. Lester.
Ryan Chandler, thanks. More dangerous weather is on the way tonight for parts of the country already hard hit by deadly tornadoes. Kathy Park reports from the storm zone in Kentucky.
Tonight, mandatory evacuations in areas of hard-hit Kentucky, where new storms are already rolling in.
Prepare to seek shelter.
After more than 50 confirmed tornadoes and 28 storm-related deaths since Friday, 37 million people across the Midwest and South are now at risk from more severe weather, with the potential for large hail and devastating twisters.
Governor, we saw how destructive the tornadoes were. What worries you the most about this next round?
What worries me about this next round, especially here, is the amount of debris.
Anticipated 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, potentially turning debris piles into projectiles. In Illinois, everyone in the state's capital in Springfield urged to shelter in the basement.
Tornado warning on the top floor of the Capitol.
And in St. Louis, where 5 people died following Friday's tornado, frustration and calls for accountability.
No side.
Nothing came through.
The mayor saying new procedures are now in place after the warning sirens failed to alert the public.
At the end of the day, the siren failure should have never happened, and it never will happen again.
The whole house was shaking, and you could hear the tin ripping off.
Back in Kentucky, Shelby Gregory grateful his family made it through the storm alive.
Where do you go from here?
I can't describe the overwhelming, the generosity and help from everybody. You can replace everything I lost. I mean, my family's alive. I'm here, so that's all that matters to me.
And shelters like this one here in London, Kentucky, are getting ready to take in people evacuating tonight. And it's not just Kentucky. At least 8 other states across the region are preparing for the possibility of more tornadoes. Lester?
All right, Kathy Park, thanks. Now to those new assault charges against a member of Congress. The Justice Department alleges a New Jersey lawmaker hit ICE agents trying to make an arrest. But Democrats are slamming the prosecution as political intimidation. Gabe Gutierrez has late details for us.
The heated confrontation outside an ICE detention facility in New Jersey this month was captured on body cameras. You can see Democratic Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, there in the red jacket, in a scuffle with ICE agents. Tonight, the Justice Department has charged her with assault.
She was shoving federal agents. She was out of control. The days of that crap are over in this country. We're going to have law and order.
But the Congresswoman says she did nothing wrong and is accusing federal agents of escalating the situation.
It's political intimidation, and I'm looking forward to my day in court.
According to the criminal complaint, McIver hit officers while trying to stop them from arresting Newark Mayor Ras Baraka for trespassing. Today, charges against Baraka were dropped. The complaint includes photos of what looks like McIver's forearm making contact with an officer's back.
And you certainly can't put hands on an officer or employee.
The Justice Department did not follow its standard practice of consulting its public integrity section before charging her, according to a source familiar with the matter. Meanwhile, the DOJ is also investigating the city of Chicago's hiring practices after its Democratic mayor touted the number of black city officials he's hired.
When you hire our people, we always look out for everybody else. Chief Operations Officer is a black man. Budget Director is a black woman. Senior Advisor is a black man.
The DOJ will now determine if he's discriminating based on race as the Trump administration cracks down on DEI.
This administration has demonstrated a great deal of animus and disdain towards what is sensible about our country, and that's the diversity of our country.
Also today, the Homeland Security Secretary incorrectly defining habeas corpus, which allows people to challenge their detention. Administration officials have floated suspending it for undocumented immigrants.
What is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right to.
Let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
Meanwhile, President Trump rallied House Republicans today behind his signature legislation that includes massive tax cuts. But several GOP lawmakers say it does not cut spending enough. Lester?
And Gabe, another story we're watching, you're getting new details about former President Biden's prostate cancer diagnosis.
Yes, Lester, a Biden spokesperson now says his last known PSA blood test used to detect prostate cancer was 11 years ago. Oncologists say it's not typically recommended for men over 70, but questions have been raised about why the cancer wasn't detected sooner. Lester?
All right, Gabe, thanks. It was another day of gripping and graphic testimony in Sean Diddy Combs' federal sex trafficking trial. 4 witnesses took the stand, including the mother of his former girlfriend. We want to warn you, some of the images in this report are disturbing. Here's Chloe Malas.
These jarring images of Cassie Ventura covered in bruises shown in court today. Her mother, Regina Ventura, testifying she took the pictures when her daughter was home for Christmas in 2011, quote, to make sure we memorialized the injuries. Regina Ventura also said her daughter's former boyfriend, Sean Diddy Combs, demanded $20,000 because Cassie started dating musician Kid Cudi. Ventura said she and her husband used their home equity line of credit to pay Combs. She said he returned the money a few days later. Ventura's testimony comes after her daughter took the stand for more than 20 hours, testifying that Combs subjected her to years of abuse and forced her to participate in drug-fueled sex parties known as freak-offs. Combs is charged with 5 counts, including sex trafficking and racketeering. He has denied all wrongdoing. Prosecutors have also shown the jury these pictures that they say show Combs' hotel room the night he was arrested, including bottles of baby oil and drugs. His former personal assistant, David James, today painting a picture of what it was like to work for the music mogul, testifying about an incident in 2008 when he went with Combs to try to confront rival record label founder Suge Knight. James said Combs had 3 guns on his lap, and while they never found Knight, James said he, quote, realized my life was in danger and ultimately quit.
Tomorrow, we expect a forensic psychologist to testify, and then after that, musician Kid Cudi, who says that Combs once blew up his car. Lester?
Chloe Malas, thank you. All right, now to our series Priced Out, and how as home prices in one booming Arkansas city surge, a new effort is underway to make sure Bentonville's teachers can afford Bentonville housing. Here's George Solis.
Inside Kelsey Lumberg's 2-bedroom apartment in Bentonville, Arkansas, space is at a premium for her growing family of 5.
We're kind of on top of each other here sometimes.
Lumberg grew up in the area and landed a job as a teacher at Bentonville High School, where she makes $60,000 a year.
There's no way I could purchase a home here.
No, I couldn't. No, not with just that salary. No.
Even with her partner's income, buying just isn't an option in Bentonville. In what was once a modest community, the median home list price is now more than $500,000. Simply put, Bentonville is booming. The area is home to Fortune 500 companies Tyson Foods, J.B. Hunt, and Walmart. So many people are moving to Bentonville. With its popular bike trails and growing art scene, the school district says it's adding about 500 students each year and building new schools to accommodate them. So, Bentonville needs teachers, but many teachers can't afford Bentonville housing.
I learned about 3 years ago that we were going to have a problem.
Debbie Jones, superintendent of schools, says she's already lost potential teachers who feel priced out.
Now, one of the first questions I ask when I do initial interviews is, have you looked for housing in this district? And not that they're required to live here, but I don't want them to be shocked.
Coming soon, new listings that could make a difference.
Tell me where we are.
Well, we're at Macaulay Place.
By the end of next year, these 11 acres will be transformed into a first-of-its-kind affordable housing community with 120 apartments and 40 cottages geared toward public school employees who qualify based on household income. The idea brought to life by the nonprofit Accelerate Foundation. Jeff Webster serves as executive advisor.
So this is being done nowhere else right now?
Well, as far as we know, no, not the way we're doing it.
The $40 million project paid for by private, state, and local funding. Apartments will be filled first come, first served. Webster says most will rent at about half of market rate. Cottages will be selected via lottery. Participants can either rent for $1,000 a month or pay $1,500 a month for 5 years max, then get up to $50,000 back to use as a down payment on a new home.
To get $50,000 coming back to them that they can take into that next house, yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
Webster says he hopes the project can be a model for other communities. Kelsey Lumberg prays she'll be picked for a cottage.
What would that mean for you?
It would be life-changing for our family.
Hoping someday to buy a house in the city she calls home.
What's this?
George Solis, NBC News, Bentonville, Arkansas.
In 60 seconds, a spotlight on sunscreen. With concern over skin cancer and the summer practically here, Ann Thompson explains what to know before you buy. Tonight, a new report from the Environmental Working Group says fewer than a quarter of all sunscreens you can buy are safe and effective. With summer soon getting underway, that caught our attention. And here with what it all means is Ann Thompson. Ann?
Lester, these standards are EWG's and not the FDA's. EWG takes issue with some chemical filters in sunscreens that are still being studied for possible health and environmental effects. It also raises concerns about the efficacy of sunscreens, with an SPF over 50, offering minimal increases in protection. Now, both the FDA and EWG agree that mineral sunscreens with zinc oxide or titanium dioxide are good for the people and the planet. The FDA also recommends using a broad-spectrum sunscreen with at least an SPF of 15 and to apply it at least every 2 hours. Also, people should use wide-brim hats and shade to protect themselves from the sun's harmful rays.
Okay, Ann, thank you. Up next for us, the changing guidance over COVID booster shots. Plus, from the football field to the medal podium, why some NFL stars could be headed to the LA Olympics. For the past few years, an annual COVID booster has been recommended for people of all ages. But the new FDA commissioner says shots for healthy kids and adults may no longer be routinely approved. It comes amid changes to vaccine policy at the Department of Health and Human Services. The shot will likely still be available for adults 65 and older and people with certain risk factors. And it was a high-flying rescue on a Florida beach. A fisherman there saw a girl stuck in a rip current. With some quick thinking, he used his drone to drop her a flotation device. He says the girl clung onto it in the choppy waters until rescuers arrived and brought her back to the beach safely. And some of the NFL's biggest stars could soon be chasing Olympic glory when flag football comes to L.A. in 2028. Players like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley could all be in the mix after the NFL approved player participation today. Qualifying countries can pick 10 players total, but only one from each NFL team. When we come back, thousands of terrapins and one frog. We sit down with Kermit ahead of his inspiring graduation speech to the University of Maryland. There's good news tonight. Next.
It's a fascinating resume you have. You're a singer.
Kermit the Frog is set to give his first commencement speech in 30 years, reminding the University of Maryland graduates of their childhoods as they take the leap into adulthood. Hallie Jackson is there.
For graduates coast to coast, ceremonies featuring the famous and the funny, the fearless and the froggy.
I'm kind of taking this as seriously as a singing, dancing frog can take anything.
Yes, it's a Kermencement at the University of Maryland featuring Kermit the Frog.
What is your advice going to be to these students who are now stepping out into the real world?
Yeah, well, lots of stuff, you know. Taking the leap into opportunity and making connections in our world today. I mean, those are just a few of the things that I have learned in my own journey to follow in my dreams.
Maryland knows the Muppets. Their creator, Jim Henson, earned his degree here in 1960.
Oh, there's a statue of Jim and me on campus. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Have you?
Yeah. It's really great.
What do you think of it?
Oh, it's really perfect likeness of Jim. A little work on me, but it's pretty good.
It'll be Kermit's first address to graduates in 30 years, and the students now seem ready for their big moment and his.
Welcome back to Maryland.
After all, Kermit knows it's not easy being green or a grown-up, even for those who have grown up with him.
No, I don't think we are ever really all grown up, you know? Maybe we're at our best when we allow ourselves to continue to grow and learn something new every day, and that's kind of like a childlike thing, don't you think? I kind of hope these graduates keep that sophisticated childlike sense of curiosity and imagination and innovation as they travel down their paths.
You still have that, right?
I do, yeah. Do you?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Because none of us ever really graduates from that sense of wonder and connection, rainbow or otherwise. Hallie Jackson, NBC News, College Park.
Great interview, Hallie. That's Nightly News for this Tuesday. Thank you for watching. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night. Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.